Most people think debt is about borrowing money. They're completely wrong. What they don't tell you is that debt is actually a time machine, and I'm about to show you exactly how banks weaponize it against you. Let's say you're 25. You need $5,000. You don't have it, so you borrow it. Seems simple, right? But here's what happens in the background that nobody talks about. When you borrow $5,000 at 18% interest, which is pretty standard for credit cards, you're not actually borrowing $5,000. You're borrowing time. Here's what I mean. That $5,000, after interest, you're paying back $9,245. But it gets worse. If you only make minimum payments, which is what 73% of people do, you're actually paying $12,847. That's an extra $7,847 coming out of your future self's pocket. Your future self is working 6+ months of their life for money they already spent. This is why debt feels like a trap. It's not a trap, it's a time theft machine. Here's the part that actually blows my mind. Banks know this. They engineer debt this way on purpose. Let me show you 3 psychological tricks they use. Trick 1, the minimum payment illusion. Look at your credit card statement. See that minimum payment? That number was designed by mathematicians and psychologists to feel achievable while keeping you in debt as long as possible. If you pay minimum on $5,000 at 18%, you pay for 28 months. If you pay $200 per month instead, you're done in 28 months. But wait, that math is the same. Actually, let me recalculate that for you live. At 18% interest, minimum payment $111, 57 months of payments. $200 per month, 28 months of payments. $300 per month, 18 months of payments. That's a difference of 39 months of your life. That's 3+ years of financial stress for one minimum payment decision. Think about what you could do with 3 extra years of financial freedom. Trick number 2, the credit score prison. Here's something that keeps people trapped: your credit score. Banks created an invisible scoreboard that literally decides if you're allowed to buy a house, get a car, or even rent an apartment. And the only way to have a good score? You have to use debt. No credit history equals bad score equals can't borrow equals can't build credit. It's a system that requires you to play the game. And once you're in, the only way to improve your score is to borrow more responsibly. This is psychological entrapment dressed up as financial advice. Wait until you hear what your credit score actually costs you. Trick number 3, the debt treadmill. Here's the most dangerous one. The more you earn, the more you're allowed to borrow. So what happens? You get a raise. Your debt ceiling increases. You buy a slightly nicer car, a bigger apartment, and suddenly you're earning $20,000 more per year, but you feel the exact same amount of broke. There's a term for this: lifestyle creep. But banks don't call it that. They call it your debt capacity, and they're constantly increasing it, sending you offers. You've been approved for a $15,000 credit line increase. Only 12%. Get a personal loan at our low rate of only 12%. Your mortgage pre-approval has been increased. They're not being generous. They're raising your ceiling so you'll stay on the treadmill longer. How many of those offers do you get per month? 3? 5? More? Let's make this concrete. The average American has $6,194 in credit card debt, but that's not the real number. The real cost is what that debt costs in time and opportunity. Imagine you're 25 with $6,194 in credit card debt at 19% interest. You decide, I'll pay $200 a month and get it done. That's a commitment for 41 months. That's 3.5 years. But here's what else happens in those 3.5 years. You don't have $200 extra per month for investing. If that $200 went into a simple index fund at 10% average returns, you'd have $9,847 in 3.5 years. Instead, you paid $8,200 total, of which $2,000 went to interest alone. So that credit card didn't cost you $6,194. It cost you $6,194 plus $2,000 interest plus $9,847 in lost investment growth. Total cost, $18,041 for something that only cost $6,194 to buy. That's why debt is a time machine. You're not just paying back money, you're paying back money from your future earnings. How to actually escape. Okay, I know this is heavy, but here's the good news. Once you understand how the system works, you can beat it. This isn't about being perfect, it's about being strategic. The Debt Escape Formula. Step 1. Stop the bleeding. First, you have to stop adding to the debt. That means you don't need a new credit card. You don't need the latest phone. You don't need to treat yourself when you're in debt. I know this sounds harsh, but every single purchase while you're in debt is adding months to your escape date. This is temporary, not forever, but while you're climbing out, you climb with both hands. Step 2. Know your real enemy. Hint, it's not the debt. Your real enemy is interest, so prioritize like this. Highest interest debt first, usually credit cards. Medium interest debt second, personal loans. Lower interest debt last, student loans, mortgages. Don't just randomly attack debt. Attack the interest rates eating your future. Step 3. The psychology flip. Remember those minimum payments designed to trap you? Flip that script. Every single dollar over the minimum is working for you, not against you. Instead of thinking, I have $6,000 of debt, think, I'm buying my freedom. My freedom costs $200 this month. Next month, maybe $210. Same action, different mindset, and your brain will push harder. Step 4. The 40% rule. Here's something they don't teach in school. If you can find just 40% extra to put toward debt, you cut your payoff time in half. Not by 10%, in half. So before you get a raise or a promotion, ask, where's the 40%? Selling stuff you don't use? 5 to 10%. Reducing subscriptions? Yes, all 7 of them. 3 to 5%. Lowering one big expense, phone plan, insurance, 10 to 20%. Side income boost, 10 to 20%. Suddenly, you're not in debt for 5 years. You're in debt for 2.5 years. That's 2.5 years of your life you just bought back. I watched someone do this once. They had $14,000 in debt. Everyone said it would take 5 years minimum. They did the 40% move, cut unnecessary spending, picked up a small side gig. They were debt-free in 2 years and 3 months. That's 2+ years they got to keep. But here's the thing that really matters. Understanding debt isn't just about getting out of debt. It's about understanding the system. Once you do, you see it everywhere. Why student loans trap young people for 20 years. Why mortgages are designed to take 30 years. Why car loans keep you broke forever. Why medical debt destroys families in one emergency. It's not a coincidence. It's architecture. And the architecture is designed so that you're always paying yesterday's bills instead of building tomorrow's wealth. But, and this is important, the system isn't evil. It's just mathematical. A bank lending $200,000 at 4% over 30 years isn't being generous. They're making $140,000 in interest while you build equity. Both of you win, but they win bigger. So the real question isn't, how do I get out of debt? It's, how do I use the debt system for me instead of against me? That means using good debt, mortgage, business loan, strategically, avoiding bad debt, credit cards, car payments you can't afford. Understanding that leverage is a tool, not a trap. And most importantly, making sure you're the one building wealth, not just the one paying interest. Look, if you're in debt right now, I want you to know, it's not because you're irresponsible. It's not because you're bad with money. It's because a very smart system was designed to keep you there. But now you know how it works. So the question is, what are you going to do about it? Are you going to keep playing by their rules? Or are you going to use these principles to actually build wealth? The choice is yours. The math doesn't lie. And if you want to know the one move that banks pray you never find out about, the thing that could cut your debt timeline in half, I'm breaking that down in the next video. Make sure you're subscribed so you don't miss it. Drop a comment. What's your biggest debt right now? Are you playing defense or offense? Let me know below.